So as I said, we will be studying about food preservation now. We will be reading about the different methods by which food can be preserved. So the first one we are studying about is chemical method. Salts and edible oils are the common chemicals generally used. Salts and the edible oils, they are called preservatives. We add salt or acid preservatives to pickles to prevent the attack of microbes. Sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite are also used. So basically, these are also used in jams and squashes to check their spoilage. So in the chemical method, salts and edible oils are the common chemicals which are generally used, and they are called preservatives because they are added to preserve something for food preservation. We also add sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite. They are used in pickles, jams as well as squashes to check their spoilage. We also have preservation by common salt, that is preservation by common salt. Common salt has been used to preserve meat and fish to check the growth of bacteria. Salting is also used to preserve amla, raw mangoes, tamarind, etc. So the second method was preservation by common salt. Salting is used to preserve amla, raw mangoes, tamarind, etc. And for meat and fish, it is already used. Here, this is an image showing the preservation by common salt. We have preservation by sugar also. This is the third. Jellies, jams, squashes are preserved by sugar. Sugar reduces the moisture content and inhibits the growth of bacteria. So it reduces the moisture content which inhibits the growth of bacteria which spoils the food. So basically we can see that all these methods are using very general things. So this is an image showing the preservation by sugar, preservation by common salt. In chemical methods also, salts and edible oils are the common chemicals generally used. So we can see to ensure the food preservation, we have many things which will stop making our food poisonous. Then we have preservation by oil and vinegar. This is the fourth one. Preservation by oil and vinegar. Use of oil and vinegar prevents spoilage of pickles because bacteria cannot live in such an environment. It is used for vegetables, fruits, fish and meat. This is showing the preservation by oil and vinegar. We need to note that though microorganisms can survive in many and almost all kinds of environment, but in the environment of where we use oil and vinegar, bacteria cannot live, and thus the food item is preserved. So it is used for vegetables, fruits, fish and meat. Then we have hot and cold treatments. This is a cool image showing cold here and hot here. So basically what we do is boiling kills many microorganisms. We need to know this. And similarly, low temperature, that is refrigeration, inhibits the growth of microorganisms. So heat and cold treatments. You must have observed your mother boiling milk before it is stored or used, because boiling kills the microorganisms whereas the low temperature inhibits the growth of microbes. So then we will be studying about storage and packing. So before studying about storage and packing, there's a thing called pasteurization. Pasteurized milk which is consumed without boiling because it is heated to about 70 degrees Celsius for 15 to 30 seconds and then suddenly chilled and stored. By doing this, we prevent the growth of microorganisms, and the process was discovered by Louis Pasteur and hence it is called pasteurization. We will study it. So the next is storage and packing. These days, Dry fruits and even vegetables are sold in sealed airtight packets to prevent the attack of microbes. So basically the dry fruits, vegetables and almost everything in the market is sold in sealed air packets. So this is the method of storage and packing. They prevent the attack of microbes because the air is not let inside. So now, as I said about pasteurization, why does the milk that comes in packets not spoil? So why does the milk that comes in packets not spoil? My mother told me that the milk is pasteurized. So what is pasteurization? As I was talking about pasteurization, we will be studying about it now. And the question is that if everything comes in packets and can be spoiled, then why doesn't the milk get spoiled? So pasteurization is a process where milk is heated to about 70 degrees Celsius for 15 to 30 seconds and then suddenly chilled and stored. It prevents the growth of microbes. This was discovered by Louis Pasteur. So from here the fresh milk gets in. This is the heating section. This is the cooling section. And from here the pasteurized milk gets out. So when the milk is suddenly heated and then chilled, it prevents the growth of microbes and then it is packed, and so the packed milk doesn't get spoiled. This method was called pasteurization, invented by Louis Pasteur, and the milk is called pasteurized milk. With this, we come to the end of the topic of food preservation. We read about different methods: chemical method, preservation by common salt, preservation by sugar, preservation by oil and vinegar, heat and cold treatments, storage and packing. This will be the last session for the chapter, and we will be studying about nitrogen fixation. The bacteria Rhizobium is involved in the fixation of nitrogen in leguminous plants. Basically, these are the pulses. Rhizobium lives in the root nodules of the leguminous plants such as beans and peas. It has a symbiotic relationship with them. Sometimes nitrogen gets fixed through the action of lightning also. So basically the bacteria Rhizobium is involved in the fixation of nitrogen in the leguminous plants. It lives in a symbiotic relationship with them. Sometimes the nitrogen is also fixed with the help of action of lightning. Let us look at the nitrogen cycle now. Our atmosphere has 78% nitrogen gas in it. 78% of nitrogen gas. Nitrogen is one of the essential constituents of all living organisms as part of proteins, chlorophyll, nucleic acids, and vitamins. So it is an essential constituent of all the living organisms. The atmospheric nitrogen cannot be directly taken up by plants and animals. Cannot be taken directly. Some bacteria and blue-green algae help fix nitrogen from the atmosphere. So bacteria and blue-green algae help fix nitrogen from the atmosphere. Once the nitrogen is converted into usable compounds, it can be utilized by plants from the soil. So once it is converted into usable compounds, can be utilized by plants from the soil. So we see that the nitrogen is converted into usable compounds. It can be utilized by plants from the soil. It is an essential constituent and it cannot be directly taken up by plants and animals. So animals feeding on plants get these proteins and other nitrogen compounds. When plants and animals die, bacteria and fungi present in the soil convert the nitrogenous wastes into nitrogenous compounds to be used by plants again. Some bacteria convert part of them to nitrogen gas which goes back to the atmosphere. So we were reading about the nitrogen cycle. Further, we'll have a diagram which will clearly explain the nitrogen cycle, but this is all together. 78% nitrogen is present in the atmosphere. It is an essential constituent and cannot be directly taken by plants and animals. Some bacteria and blue-green algae help in the fixing of nitrogen from the atmosphere. Once the nitrogen is converted into usable compounds, it can be utilized by plants from the soil. When the animals feed on such plants, they get proteins and other nitrogen compounds. And when such plants and animals die, the bacteria and fungi which are present in the soil have some action on it and convert this waste into nitrogenous compound which can be used by the plants again. And some bacteria convert part of such into nitrogen gas which goes back to the atmosphere, and the whole cycle is repeated. So basically this diagram will clearly explain you the concept of nitrogen cycle. This is atmospheric nitrogen. First, as we said, some nitrogen is also fixed by the lightning action. So lightning fixes the nitrogen. The compound, it has gone to the compounds of nitrogen in the soil. From there it goes to two sources. Plants take nitrogen from the soil, as well as the bacteria release nitrogen from compounds of nitrogen into the atmosphere, and then it again changes into atmospheric nitrogen. But the nitrogen which was taken up by the plants from the soil, animals eat those plants as we read, and the nitrogenous waste from excretion and death is again converted into compounds of nitrogen which goes back to the soil. And nitrogen is not only fixed by lightning. Some bacteria and blue-green algae fix atmospheric nitrogen. This nitrogen, then the bacteria converts atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogenous compounds which can be used by the plants and animals. And similarly, then again it goes to the compounds of nitrogen in the soil, and as in the previous case the steps followed, the same cycle continues. So this is a very clear diagram which shows the actual process of nitrogen cycle. The atmospheric nitrogen in two ways can be fixed, either by lightning or by some bacteria and blue-green algae fix atmospheric nitrogen, and the bacteria converts atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogenous compounds. In both the cases, they finally form the compounds of nitrogen in the soil. From there, it goes to two sources. Plants take the nitrogen from the soil, and some bacteria release nitrogen from the compounds directly into nitrogen gas and goes back to the atmosphere. But the nitrogen which was taken by the plants from the soil, animals consume those plants, and again the nitrogenous waste of such plants and animals is converted into compounds of the nitrogen in the soil. So the whole cycle continuously goes on, and this is actually the nitrogen cycle. So as I said, the nitrogen cycle is the last topic of the chapter. By ending this topic, we complete the chapter of microorganisms, friends as well as foe. We read that what are microorganisms, how are they friendly to us, how they are harmful to us. Then we read about food preservation, and we finally read about nitrogen fixation, and thus we come to the end of this chapter.